my next question is to, I mean, I'm going to switch gears and come back to your home ground, which is science. I remember reading an article of yours on Newton. I found that very interesting, where you spoke of certain aspects of him or his life, which I think you called it the dark side of Newton or something. Would you care to talk a little bit, just briefly, about him? Because I want to bring this up because, again, in tying up with what we just spoke earlier, how in India we tend to revere Western men of science, not really knowing much about, the truth, actually. So could you talk a little bit about Newton, what I think most people don't know or are unaware of?
Well, sometimes Newton is seen as the harbinger of the scientific age. And here he saw the cosmos as a clockwork, and gravitation and physical laws, etc., etc. And of course, science took off, Newton and Leibniz and many others. But we often speak of Newtonian physics, and that is supposed to be a departure, let's say, from the way, within the narratives in India, from the way physics was done in India. Now, but I think 70 or 80 years ago, it was discovered that much more than his own physics, he had been writing on alchemy. And these books had been hidden because the English elite didn't want the rest of the world to know what Newton had actually spent most of his life doing. Right. And in this, Newton had the most backward ideas, and he was looking at a literal interpretation of the Old Testament and the New Testament, and he believed that the world was going to end in 2012 or something. 12, yeah, right. Or if it didn't end that soon, maybe 2065, or, this is biblical chronology, which goes back to the creation of the universe in 4004 BCE and all that stuff. So a lot of this stuff was sort of religious mumbo jumbo. And this is many times more than what his physics had been. And of course, we should praise his physics. But again, to talk about his physics, what's interesting is that, and this is something that I wrote a book on 5-6 years ago. I went back to the very earliest Indian physics, and that's Kanada. And Kanada did his Vaisheshika Sutras. And according to scholars, they were done about 600 BCE. Now, in Vaisheshika Sutras, Kanada comes up with the most advanced view of looking at reality. In many ways, more advanced than Newton himself. Of course, he doesn't have the law of gravitation, although, gravitation is something that others have also spoken about, like Bhaskaracharya. He didn't have the equation, but he did see that how we make sense of objects in the sky is because gravitation balances out. In fact, Bhaskaracharya mentions that specifically. But Kanada, to come back, Kanada viewed reality as two triangles, one like the Shakti triangle, which consists of Dravya, Karma, and Guna, which means substance, motion, and the properties. So that is one triangle. And the other triangle, which is like the Shiva triangle, consists of Samanya, which is universal, Vishesha, which is particular to the person who is interacting with Prakriti, and then Samavaya, the meeting point of the observer and the observed. It's most incredible. It's as advanced as can be. And this is something which is guiding the evolution of such ideas. Not necessarily, people don't know about Kanada, very few do. But he also had laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion. Of the 3 laws, he has 2 in almost exactly the same verbiage.
This is Vaisheshika, Kannada.
Kannada has, for example, he has a law which says to every action, there's an equal reaction. Or if you let a object, if you don't interfere with it, it'll stay or keep on moving.
Right.
without changing. So the second law, F is equal to ma, he doesn't have that, but he has it in some sense indirectly, and you can sense that. So it's very, very contemporary view of looking at reality, that as far as properties of the physical universe are concerned, they should be obtained only from the study of substances, their characteristics, and their motions, which is as relevant now as it has ever been.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.